Hey y'all, what's going on? It's Voicing Ingle here, back with another video, and a little bit of mixed emotions going on right now. So I've been posting it on my social media, my Facebook page, as well as Instagram, about me finishing my 13th audiobook, something I am really, really proud of. My earlier works, you could tell I was starting out. And I mean, I'm not saying that I'm the greatest now, but you can definitely hear the vast improvement. And that just comes over time, working within the craft, as well as getting great coaching. And I have a wonderful audiobook coach who has brought me so far, who actually helped me a little bit in the preparation of the book that I just completed. So shout out to Shannon Parks. That's my audiobook coach. She's fantastic. So great. And one of the big things that I learned from her real quick, if you're into audiobook narration, is emoting the proper emotion and feeling when you're reading the tertiary. Is that how you say it? The no, interstitial. I can't say that word very well. Interstitial copy. I hope I said that right. I'll put it on the screen. if I said If I said it wrong, or even if I did say it right, I'll just put it up here because that's a word that people just don't use in everyday vernacular. But basically, the non dialogue. So if a character isn't speaking and describing what's going on in the scene, there's emotion associated with that. And you got to be able to emote that if the the person speaking, whether it's first person or third person. Is it happy? Is it sad? Is it angry? Is it irritated? Whatever. Just being able to express the intent of the mood in that moment is beneficial. And that was my biggest takeaway from coaching with Shannon. So, again, shout out to her. And about 3, 4 months ago, I was listening to different audiobook narrators, and I was listening to a book called Lovely Girls. Those Lovely Girls, I think is the name of it. But the narrator was Vivian Lehaney, and I thought she did a fantastic job in doing what I was just talking about and emoting the mood in the moment of the non-dialogue. And I said, "Oh my gosh, that's the kind of storytelling I wanna do." I'm on Audible for their subscription service, so once I got done with that book, I was always recommending other books for you to try. There was a book series by an author, his name is Mark Goodwin. I got the suggestion to listen to a book trilogy called Ava's Crucible. And so I listened to the sample, like a 5-minute sample, and it was by a lady by the name of Stacey Glemboski was the narrator. And I listened to her and I was like, "Oh my gosh, her storytelling is amazing." So I went ahead and got the book. And I listened to the whole thing, her delivery, her pitch, her cadence, the way she came up with her character voices. It's amazing what audio book narrators can do when you're having to come up with voices for different multiple characters. And it's just you in this booth coming up with all these different characters, and you're saying this story. It sounds like a whole conversation, and you forget it's an audiobook narrator and you just engaged in the story. And that is the whole point of audiobook narration. You want your listeners to be engaged in the story. So us as audiobook narrators, that's part of our job is to listen, to other narrators and to learn and to see their method of operation. One of my military leaders back in the early part of my career, he was teaching me just a simple lesson about leadership. And he said, take a look at all your supervisors, all your commanders, all of our leaders, and pick up the things that they do well and the things that, in your opinion, they need to do better on. You watch them and you pattern your leadership style, you create your own, but look at examples that you can create your leadership style from. Basically, don't come up with something from scratch. See what you can take away by watching others and develop your leadership from that lens. And you could do the same thing in audiobook narration. Listen to different narrators, see their techniques and how they deliver the story. How do they do it? When you're switching from inner thought to going into dialogue, listening to that, their pacing, their cadence, their spacing, their delays, the the sounds that aren't words. Like if you're so into the story, you let out a gasp or a sigh. And even though the wording didn't call for it, it doesn't say, well, she sighed, but you sigh because the moment it just felt right to put in a sigh. You go, well, the reason why I did that was because, and then just continue on. Like, well, it didn't call for a sigh, but you felt like in a normal conversation that would be the right thing to do. That is the kind of stuff that you pay attention to and you add it to your own style of audiobook narration. And Stacey Glemboski was doing all these things and more. I mean, she is a fantastic, fantastic storyteller. And I listened to all of Ava's Crucible, the whole book series. It's over 20 hours of listening. And I'm listening to another book now by Mark Goodwin called Cyber Armageddon. Again, fantastic job she is doing. I mean, she is my all-time favorite to date audiobook narrator, and I'm going to continue to binge watch a lot more of her work because it was her style of storytelling that I gravitated to the most, and I incorporated that in doing my latest audiobook narration. And by the way, the name of the book is called I Should Have Worn a Curtain Too by Samira Alexander. It is a novella, a two-part novella. So I read book two. A different voiceover artist did book one, but that voiceover artist wasn't available to do book two. And so Samira had found me. She said she liked my voice and asked if I could do the book for her. I said, well, let me audition for you first. And if my voice is a right fit, so that way she could hear her words with my voice. Excuse me. And so I did that free of charge. And she absolutely said, yes, please narrate my story. And I said, absolutely, I'll be honored. So, and we just went from there. So it's completed. But my point is, I followed Stacey Glemboski's lead and using her techniques in narrating this story. And I'm not going to say I did exactly like her, because you're going to incorporate your own flavor and style to it. But it was a complete joy and honor to use her template and adding it to my own narration leadership, narration style. And when I got done and submitted it to the client, she absolutely enjoyed it. She said, you did such a great job. And it's funny. She said, you didn't just read the story, you performed the story. And when I tell you that was exactly what I was going for, because that's exactly what Stacey Glemboski does. She performs the story. And I said, that's exactly what I wanted to do. So for this author to have said those words, it meant the world to me. Like, there is no greater compliment, no highest honor, because us as voiceover artists, no matter what genre that we do, it's all about putting on a great performance. Because the number one thing, don't sound like you're reading, even though we're literally reading from a piece of paper. We can't sound like we're reading from a piece of paper. It has to come off naturally, like it came off the top of our dome, right? So for her to have said it sounded like a performance, it means the world to me. It comes out this month on Audible. and I can't wait for it to come out and for people to hear it. Samara Alexander has a whole array of book collection, and she has a nice following. So I'm excited for her listeners to hear this book and to get the feedback, the good, the bad, the ugly, the indifferent, the great, the critique, whatever, because I don't look at it as critique. I read somewhere it's not a critique. It's how is it? It's not a critique. It's an action item to be better or something along those lines. It's an opportunity basically to learn and incorporate good suggestions into your style. So critique is about making you better. So I'm looking forward to all of it. It may sting a little bit if there's something negative, but take the good out of it and see, yeah, I could that's a great idea. Yeah, let me do that, especially for the next book. When I got the word from the author, this was last week, that she accepted the book and everything's good to go after she needed me to make a few minor changes, which was minor. Another win. When you have very little to no pickups, that means you did a very good, solid job. And I only have 4 pickups to do. 4. So I am extremely happy about because again, my military days, one of the first things we learned in boot camp was paying attention to detail, something that I strive to still do to this day. So, paying attention to detail and fixing what I see wrong in real time will lessen, hopefully, the pickups or the corrections that I need to make once it gets to the client. So, anyway, so when she accepted the book and says, good to go, thank you so much. You did a great job. Wonderful working with you. Of course, I'm praising Jesus because audiobook work is a marathon. It's nothing quick about it. I said, I'm going to try to find Stacey because I want to express my thanks to her. So I'm looking for her on LinkedIn, send a connection request, but she hadn't posted anything in a while. I said, well, she probably doesn't. And that's a lot of people. People got LinkedIn accounts, but don't really stay actively engaged on it. A lot of people do that. So I said, well, let me go on Facebook and see if I can find her. And I did, but it was 2 different accounts, so I wasn't sure if it was her. So I was scrolling through the search results, and then I saw a post, a tribute that she had passed away. She passed away a couple of months ago. This is April of 2025, so I think February or March, she passed away of cancer, brain cancer, to be more specific. And when I tell you I was devastated, I started crying. I don't know this woman. I've never met her. Never. But when you hear her stories, when you hear her tell a story, she feels like a friend. If someone resonates with you like that, they feel like a friend. I said, she what now? So I wrote messages on a couple of posts that I saw, just expressing my condolences. I'm so sorry. I did not know. I just learned of Stacey just 3 months ago. I've been listening to a lot of her work, and I'm incorporating her style into my audiobook narration style. And I was just trying to find her because I wanted to just say thank you, Stacey. Thank you for what you're doing for our community. And she's gone. But she lives on through her work. And so I will continue to listen and enjoy and learn from Stacey Glemboski and appreciate the gift that she gave to the voiceover community and to the world as far as people picking up a random audiobook and listening to her voice and getting lost in the story. Thank you, Stacey. Thank you so much for what you have done again for the community and for me personally. I hate that we never got a chance to meet, but your work and your lessons live on. So thank you for what you left for us. And with that, that's all I got to say about that. I hope you all have a great day. And to all my fellow voiceover artists, record something great today. Y'all be safe. Bye bye.